tonight, and what a win! Again!
On the champion.
Rondo to LeBron for three. That's good. So Lakers starting to hit threes now. Rondo shoots a three. Good.
Man, this kid is just knocking it down.
Playoff Rondo, man. I'm telling you, it's a real thing.
The Pizza Hut Lakers Postgame Show.
Always get your to-go with the new $10 Tastemaker from Pizza Hut. A large pizza with up to 3 toppings for just $10. Choose contactless delivery or curbside pickup at pizzahut.com.
Lakers basketball is a final.
877-710 ESPN.
Should we get the brooms ready? The Lakers are now only 2 wins away from that ring. It's the Pizza Hut Lakers postgame show.
Tipping off
Now, here's Allen Sliwa.
All right, 2 games away for the Los Angeles Lakers, 124-114 over the Miami Heat. That was a little stressful, not going to lie. That game was a little stressful. I know the score felt like we always had a double-digit lead, but I just thought, man, give Miami Heat credit. They just were not going away. And I'll tell you one thing, I don't think they're going to go away this series, so nothing's going to be handed to you. I got a feeling Game 3 is going to be a battle for the Los Angeles Lakers, and I think the Miami Heat, obviously that's going to be their season. And we've seen teams, it was a Denver Nuggets Game 3. It was a similar predicament. Denver came out and won Game 3, and we'll see if the Lakers could. They certainly have control of this series, but you go up 3-0, then it's just a matter of time before this series is over. So we'll see what happens coming up on Sunday. But great battle for the Lakers. There's a lot of things that I'm sure we could talk about from what they can do to improve. But Laker fans, we are watching something special. When you get a chance to watch on a night-in, night-out basis 2 absolute superstars for the Los Angeles Lakers. They're representing the purple and gold. They're playing the right way. They'll do anything they need to do to help the team win. This is special. Laker fans know this. We have been privileged to watch the greats, the Kobe and Shaqs, throw in Pau Gasol in that mix as well. Of course, Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Go down the list. James Worthy, Jerry West, Wilt Chamberlain. LeBron's already a legend, and Anthony Davis is on his way. Now, of course, you got to get championships to start. You can't just throw that term around. But I just hope that, what we're seeing on a night-in, night-out basis, it's special. Anthony Davis took 20 shots tonight. He hit 15 of them. Had 32 points and 14 rebounds. LeBron James, 14 of 25 from the field, another 33 points, 9 assists, and 9 rebounds. You guys remember that conversation early on in the season when they're saying, well, what's the best duo in the NBA? This isn't even close. Of course, at this point, we all know that. It shouldn't even be a conversation. Michael Thompson's been saying these last couple of weeks, Al, don't tell me about who's in the top 5, where AD is top 5. This is the number 1 player in the NBA, LeBron, and the 1A, 2, whatever you want to call him, Anthony Davis. These are the top 2 players in the league. And certainly tonight is just another example of it. And it's not just one night. I mean, this is what the Los Angeles Lakers have been doing this entire playoff series. But in these finals, LeBron and AD are just special. And certainly I know Laker fans understand how special this moment is. Okay, 877-710 ESPN. If you want to be a part of our Pizza Hut Lakers postgame show here. Look, we're going to take a lot of calls tonight. We're going to get a chance to hear from the coach. We're going to get a chance to hear from LeBron AD, so we got a lot to get into. Couple stats I think stand out to me. Man, that's a lot of three-pointers. Lakers took 47 threes and only 17 free throws. I feel like that's kind of what Miami's game plan was. As best as they can, they want to put you in this trap of thinking that you're a three-point shooting team, and certainly the Lakers not exactly known for that. Danny Green, 1 for 8 from 3. KCP, 2 of 11 from 3. So obviously if those 2 players, if they don't go 3 for 19, let's say they go 6 for 19, this is a blowout. And you might look at, well, they won by 10. You might think it's a blowout on its own right there. But Lakers definitely kind of took that bait when it came into taking these threes, and I feel like that's what Miami Heat was trying to rope them into doing. Miami's an interesting team. That's all I could say. The talent that they have is you got some talented players, but they play tough. They play for all 48 minutes. I thought it was interesting. Udonis Haslem sitting there during the break, during some of these timeouts, giving pep talks. I mean, the whole thing. So that was definitely a Miami Heat team that understands that this is it. This is their opportunity, and they're going to come out on Game 3, I think, swinging. I want to go to Lakers head coach Frank Vogel, and real quick, I'll encourage Laker fans, 877-710-ESPN. We're going to line up all your calls. We'll go to Lakers head coach Frank Vogel.
Hey, Frank, Mike Trudell. On the walk-off for Spectrum, AD's basically said that he wasn't satisfied with the way that you guys as a team played overall. Thought there were a lot of places that things could improve. So despite winning by that margin, what do you take away from his reaction to the game?
I agree with him. Particularly on the defensive end, we knew they were going to be different. And, with no Bam, they bring 5 3-point shooters. And, their movement offense is very difficult to guard no matter who's in uniform. But we definitely have to do a better job, in particular on the defensive end. I thought we attacked offensively really well. Had one of our we had a poor shooting night from perimeter, but I liked the quality of the shots for the most part. And even having a poor shooting night, we still end up with an offensive rating of 136. So I was pleased with what we did on that end of the floor. Obviously you can always get better on both sides, but defensively we got to be better.
Greg, just wondered what those conversations were like in practice with LeBron, with Rondo, about dissecting his zone, and you guys just getting to that level of talking about hoops.
Yeah, just we know the spacing that we want to get to in a few different alignments. Obviously, a lot of teams don't have 10, 15, 20 different zone offensive plays like they do with man-to-man. But there's a few different alignments we want to get to out of the zone that we feel are favorable to the offense. We got a lot of them tonight, and obviously Doe and Bron and our whole group has a great ability to communicate where the holes are, what they're looking for, and work together in those types of things.
Frank, what were you seeing happening in the third quarter there when they cut that 18-point lead to 9, especially defensively?
In the third quarter, you said?
Yeah, when they cut down, you guys had an 18-point lead, and they cut it all the way down to 9, and just wondering what you saw.
Yeah, this team has a lot of fight, and like I said, they're extremely difficult to guard no matter who's in uniform. It doesn't matter that they have some guys out; they're a deep team, and with Bam out, they become different from a standpoint of more spacing at the 3-point line, which presents different kinds of challenges. Bam is an all-star, one of their best players, but they become different. With him and Dragic out. And, those guys played extremely hard, kept fighting to cut into the lead. Like I said, we got to do some things better, a lot of things better on the defensive end. But that's what getting to work and the process is all about. Review the film, meet tomorrow as a team, and make some improvements.
Awesome.
Start with David Veneman.
Frank, this is the first time a pair of Laker teammates scored 30-plus in a finals game since Shaq and Kobe back in 2002. What is the way that Anthony and LeBron are able to dominate at the same time? Do they take turns? Do they feed the hot hand? How do they kind of work it out together that way?
Well, they both, and our whole team attacks the defense and reads. You know what I mean? And obviously they both have the ability to score against single coverage, so to speak, whatever action you're talking about. But they're both willing passers. So sometimes they're feeding each other. Sometimes they're destroying their own man. And sometimes they're making the extra pass to the open man. Both have that elite ability to score and to read defense. So, again, big reason. Those two were huge tonight and a big reason for the win.
Dan?
Frank, you guys had, I think, I'm looking at it right here, 16 offensive rebounds, 8 for Anthony. Physically, how have you guys been able to kind of dominate and use your size in this series, and how big of a factor do you think that's been in these 2 wins? Yeah, we got a lot of those rebounds, not even, with our big lineup. There's a lot of holes in the zone. That's one of them, being able to crash the boards. And we definitely punished that aspect of their zone defense.
Go with Kyle.
Frank, in those situations where you're losing a lead, I mean, you've been in that position a lot these playoffs and gone on to win a number of those games anyway, turn it back. What do you look for in the groups that you want out on the floor? And to your observations, what's their sort of dialogue? Are they trying to simplify things, or how do they approach it?
Well, each group knows what the strengths are of the personnel that are out there. The great thing is we always have either Rondo or LeBron out there to quarterback the action, and make sure that we're seeing the targets and trying to get the ball to guys in positions to be effective. And when you have two guys like that, or one of them on the floor for all 48 minutes, you're going to get a lot of good action. So I credit those guys.
We'll go back to Dan for follow-up.
Frank, this league, by and large, has gone small in the last decade or so. Why has going large worked for you guys and being big?
Well, we haven't necessarily gone large, big, used the word large. We're a hybrid team. We play all season long, half the game big lineups, half the game small, and then we have the ability against bigger teams to play more minutes with a big lineup, and we have the ability to play more small lineups against smaller teams when that's needed, like you saw in the Houston series, like you saw with a lot of tonight's game. Dwight started, but he was very effective in his minutes, and that's the biggest thing is our ability to be a hybrid.
All right, we're going to go back to Will for our last few.
All right, yeah, Frank, I'll have a couple more for you. Bill Orr.
Hey, Frank, you indicated in your on-court interview with Rachel that offensively for AD in that third quarter is probably about as good as it gets. Curious what you've seen from him kind of throughout this postseason run from him in terms of his confidence and his aggression, and what kind of growth you've seen in his mindset as you guys have gotten deeper into this.
Well, you said the word right there. His mindset is he wants to be a champion, and he's extremely motivated to play at a high level, and you're seeing it every time he steps onto the floor. Obviously defensively he's a unicorn, in my opinion, the defensive player of the year. But his shot making, the many ways that he can hurt you offensively, in the post, rolling to the basket, working the baseline like he did against his own, working the middle, shooting threes from the perimeter. It's just very unique, and you can just see his determination, to win this championship on both sides of the ball. But I thought tonight you saw even more on the offensive end.
All right, that's Lakers head coach Frank Vogel right there. 124-114, the final score over Miami. Want to give a quick shout out to the Wallace Firm, official personal injury law firm of the Postgame Show all season long. Have a personal relationship with Brad Wallace and his team of attorneys over at the Wallace Firm. No one else I'd recommend. Let them help you get the W. No win, no fee. 844-844-WINS or visit wallacewins.com. Lakers get the W tonight. Now just 2 wins away from an NBA championship. When we come back, we'll take your guys' phone calls. 877-710-ESPN. Be a part of the Pizza Hut Lakers postgame show. I'm Allen Sliwa right here on 710 ESPN.
Hey, it's Keyshawn. You ready? LA's mega sports lineup.
Are you ready? On LA's mega sports station.
Start your day with me, Keyshawn, 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. Keyshawn, Jay Will, Zubin, and Travis Rogers. Here with you each weekday morning. Mike Greenberg, Greeny is back on your radio from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. At 11, you loved him for years on 710. Max is back. Max Kellerman for your lunch hour. And at 1 p.m., my guys Mason and Ireland are back in middays until 4 p.m.
How about a little afternoon flavor with George Sedano and LZ Granderson?
Sedano and LZ until 7. And the LA Sports Talk Now don't stop until 10 p.m. each weeknight. Scott Kaplan holds it down at night.
The all-new 710.
Don't get it twisted, homeboy. The best sports talk in LA on 710 ESPN.
On 710 ESPN.
With Pizza Hut, everyone ends up winning. And with the new Double It Box, you get 2 medium, 1-topping pizzas in one box. So they can choose what they want, and you get the taste that you enjoy. Order the Double It Box for carryout or delivery at pizzahut.com. Prices, charges, and minimums vary. Delivery charge not a tip.
LA's mega sports station. Your Lakers station. 710 ESPN.
We want to embody what Kobe Bryant stood for and honor his memory.
The Mamba mentality's in full effect for the NBA Finals as the Lakers reach the final step on mission number 17.
Pull it back, Kobe.
Every time you put on purple and gold, you think about his legacy, you think about him and what he meant to this franchise for 20 plus years.
Pull it back, Kobe.
Just looking down at the jersey and Coach telling us is just a constant reminder that Kobe's with us and we kind of have his spirit in those jerseys.
The spirit of the Mamba lives in us all, every day, every step of the playoffs, and every big shot.
Rondo brings in Anthony Davis, 3 for the win. He got it! No time on the clock. It's over.
It's a shot Kobe Bryant would hit. It's a Mamba shot.
Pull it back, Kobe.
Share every moment with us. The race for the ring at number 17 as we do it for Kobe.
710 ESPN.
Pull it back, Kobe.
All-time Lakers starting 5. Who's in your starting 5?
Am I now a part of that roster now? I could be a part of that.
Do whatever you need to do.
Okay, I have Magic, Kobe at the 2, LJ at the 3. I'm at the 4. Got to go with the most dominant ever, Shaq at the 5.
That's a pretty good starting 5 right there. Pretty good.
Ooh, that's tough. I have Magic at the 1, Kobe at the 2, LeBron at the 3. Ooh, this is tough for the 4 and 5. All right, so I'm going to put Kareem at the 4, and I'm going to put Shaq at the 5, and I'll be the 6th man.
I like that. No one's beating that 5.
Nobody's beating that 6, you know.
That's 6. There you go.
We're going to get the ball to Shaq, let him go to work, get everybody in foul trouble. Then Kareem is going to skyhook everybody to death.
With the new $10 tastemaker from Pizza Hut. A large pizza with up to 3 toppings for just $10. Choose contactless delivery or curbside pickup at pizzahut.com.
Hi, this is Anthony Davis of your Los Angeles Lakers.
Hi, it's LeBron. The Lakers play here.
It's time for Lakers Postgame with Sliwa.
Now, here's Allen Sliwa.
Points in the Paint all season long is sponsored by Vista Paint, locally owned, manufactured, and operated, and with over 1,300 Vista Paint colors. Your perfect paint expression is at Vista Paint right now. And don't forget, visit VistaPaint.com for your discount color sampler. Lakers win the Points in the Paint battle 56-46. They win the game 124-114, and now are just 2 games away from championship number 17. I spent some time even in the pregame show telling Michael, I'm like, Michael, I'm already ready to start talking about next season. Can't do that. Miami's fine. I will give the Miami Heat credit. They're certainly one of those teams that is not going to back down. I do want to take a couple calls from Laker fans right now. 877-710-ESPN. Sal in Montebello. Sal, I appreciate you calling in, bud. You're on the Pizza Hut Lakers postgame show.
How's it going, brother? Thanks for having me.
Good, man. We're two away. What's your thoughts on tonight's game?
I'm driving home from work, and I'm thinking about this Lakers team, and it just came to my mind: is this the greatest redeemed team in the NBA, like in NBA history?
Mm-hmm.
Like you got Dwight Howard going back to the finals, you got LeBron James winning a championship in the West, right here in the best franchise the NBA has ever seen. You got AD winning the title, you got J.R. Smith, and you got the whole team, you know, excited about winning the title, and it's actually bittersweet too because of Kobe Bryant's passing. You know, is this the greatest redeemed team story or what?
I'll tell you what, Sal, and I appreciate you calling in. I don't know. I don't really, I think, look at it that way. I will say that the 2 players you just mentioned, Dwight and Rajon Rondo, I'm not sure actually if you mentioned Rondo, but you can, say that he's certainly a player that's trying to, keep his career going, prolong it, play with a championship contender. It's been 10 years since Rondo won an NBA championship. It's been 11 years since Dwight Howard made it to the NBA Finals. Anthony Davis has never been there before. LeBron James obviously trying to win a championship for a franchise that hasn't won in 10 years, and certainly for himself, he's 3-6 in the finals, trying to change that narrative and make it 4-6. All I could really look at is this series so far and these players. Look, they're all pulling the rope in the same direction. We win in such different ways. One game you're going to have the Lakers win because they dominate down low and There's no answers for guys like Dwight, and there's no answers for, of course, Anthony Davis. Another game we'll win because we hit threes. Another game, Lakers can win in any style that you throw at them. That's one of the most unique things I think about this team. Think about it when we played Portland. There was really one style. It was Damian Lillard and C.J. McCollum, and you're really depending on your backcourt to win. The Houston Rockets, I don't have to tell you how they win. They literally can only match up one single way. Lakers were able to play one style against Portland, a completely different style against the Rockets. Lakers played game one against Miami. Bam Adebayo was in the lineup, had to play a little bit bigger. In this game tonight, they went smaller. You saw Markieff Morris obviously get a ton of minutes. Guys like KCP were on the floor a lot. Alex Caruso. So you just kind of go down the list. Lakers can adapt to anybody. Trent in San Antonio, who's listening on the ESPN app, appreciate you calling in, bud. You're on the Pizza Hut Lakers postgame show.
Yeah, thanks for taking my call, Alan.
You got it, man.
Real quick, I think that they are so adaptable just because of how dynamic LeBron and AD are. They can play small and still be a lot bigger. But I think this game right here put that whole narrative to bed about who's the MVP and like trying to create this divisiveness. Like, they're not mutually exclusive. The better LeBron plays, the better AD plays. The more dominant AD is, the better LeBron is. Like, and then furthermore, it's just like it's contagious. And then the other players play better. And I just thought like this was just a great team win, and just like the duo showing why they're the best duo.
Well, Trent, and here's the reality, and I appreciate you calling in. What does it matter from an individual perspective? What does it mean if you have good individual stats? I could go down the list of all these different players in the NBA that got great individual stats. You know what else I could tell you about them? They're nowhere close to an NBA championship. So, yesterday it was so interesting. We get these opportunities to listen to the players, head coach Frank Vogel, and LeBron was talking about how it works so well with him and ADs because there's no jealousy. These two players know that they need each other. By the way, it's not just on the court. They've got a great relationship off the court as well. But the reality is, if Anthony Davis is going to get his first NBA championship, he needs LeBron. If LeBron's going to get his fourth NBA championship and do it with three different franchises, he needs AD. So there is obviously a fantastic combination between these two superstars for the Los Angeles Lakers. Let me squeeze in one more call, and then we're going to go to Markieff Morris. Dan calling in Santa Ana. Dan, appreciate you calling in, bud. You're on the Pizza Hut Lakers postgame show.
Yeah, Alan, I was the caller that told you to wear that Mamba jersey.
That's right.
I don't see you having it on. Hopefully you'll get one on in the postgame after the postgame. And I actually have a question for you.
Sure.
So out of all the Lakers players today, who had the greatest plus-minus and who had the worst plus-minus?
Who had the highest plus-minus and the lowest plus-minus? Well, I got the stats in front of me, so I'm going to go ahead and tell you, and I appreciate you calling in, Dan. Thank you. So KCP was a plus 14 on the plus-minus, and KCP had a awful shooting night. Let me just point that out real quick. 2 of 11 from the three-point line. And then who had the worst plus-minus? J.R. Smith was at, it was Alex Caruso was at -5. Isn't it funny sometimes how we use that plus-minus to our advantage? Sometimes we use it because it supports our argument. Other times we use it, obviously in certain cases it hurts us. I will say this, with LeBron and Anthony Davis doing what they did, Rajon Rondo chipping in the way he did, KCP